I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you
If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs
don't
up.
wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe.
Give me a
All I
thumbs
wanna
up.
ask
If
you
you guys can hear me.
are you down for
All right, all right, all right. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor. I'm gonna turn this down. Do me a favor, jump over to YouTube and follow me on my stream there. Appreciate you. All right, if you want to do me a favor, come over to YouTube. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, jump over to YouTube, because what it does for me is it boosts out the analytics for me, pushes out the feed, lets people know that I'm live. And the more people that are in the live session, the more value you get, because I get to answer people's live questions. And it's just more value. And I appreciate you guys for being here. As always, give me a thumbs up if you guys are in here. Let me check this feed first, make sure that things are doing what it's supposed to be doing right now. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here. It's so strange watching yourself. It's like I'm actually watching myself live, which is, it's kind of peculiar. But what can you do? I have to make sure that things are actually working well. So thank you for the likes. Give me 3 more likes and we can get to what I have to talk about today. 3 more likes. If you're in here, which I know you are, you can give me 3 more likes. Appreciate it. All right. I think we're almost there. Give me a couple likes if you're coming in. Give me a couple likes. Push the feed out there to people. Let them know I'm live. I do these pop-up lives, which I don't know. Maybe I should probably start scheduling these out ahead of time and not just jumping in when I'm feeling like it. But that's the thing about being an entrepreneur. You can just jump in when you feel like it and coach clients all the other time. But anyway, I digress. It's good to see you guys. What's going on, my beautiful people? All right, so if you're first time visitors, I am Coach Court, a certified life and relationship coach. I've been coaching people for over 5 years. I've been in the personal development space since 2007. So it's been a while. I've been working with people for a really long time. I've been studying human behaviors for a really long time. Glad to learn something new. What's up, Greg? It's good to see you, man. Where you from anyway? I don't know if it's the Greg I know. If it's not, then let me know where you're from. You guys are coming in, checking in, like the feed. Let me know where you're from. We're up to 7 likes. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. And hopefully I can bring you some value tonight. Hopefully I can bring a new perspective to your life and give you Belgium. Okay, Belgium. Wow, what is it, like 4 o'clock in the morning over there? It's good to see you, man. It's good to meet you for the first time, because I don't think I've ever spoken to you before. But I'm gonna get to it, right? They Never Loved You is the title of tonight's live session. Why did I pick that topic? I mean, let's just be honest. Come on, it's clickbaity. Like, let's just be honest. It's clickbaity, but at the same time, this was sparked off of a poll that I ran on my Instagram page about Tyrese. I don't know if you guys know. It's Greg. You over in Belgium. I don't know if you know the singer Tyrese. Tyrese played in Fast and the Furious. He's actually pretty well known here in the States. And there's like a viral clip of him being created about a quote that he said about his ex-wife. Now, he released a whole new album. I listened to a podcast that he was on, and he really, he kind of hit home, because I've been through divorce before. I've been through some things in my life, and I don't necessarily agree with everything that he was saying, but I ran a poll on my channel, on my Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, it's I am Coach Court. I ran a poll on there asking people if they felt like what he was actually saying was true or not. And what he was saying was, they never loved me. My sorry, my aunt's texting me. What he was saying on the Instagram, on this, actually the viral video that's being made, was, I don't think she ever loved me. His ex-wife. I don't think she'll ever love me, because if she did, it wouldn't be that easy to leave. So I don't think she ever loved me, because if she did, it wouldn't be that easy for her to leave. Now, I have to disagree right away, like instantly, because no offense, Tyrese, if you're watching this feed, I have to disagree because I know women pretty well. I study human behavior. I've worked with thousands, at this point, thousands of women that have all told me that they've checked when they leave you finally, it's usually because they've already checked out mentally. They've already checked out with the future that they thought that they had with you. They've grieved that part already. So I would ask people that are going through that divorce or going through the breakup, which is, what did you miss? Because at some point, you must have seen that things have changed. There's a point in your relationship where she wasn't as affectionate, where she wasn't as loving, where she wasn't as uh, in love with you, literally in love with you as she once was. So I usually ask them, what is it that you missed? I don't necessarily agree with a person never loving you. I mean, for example, people who go through divorce, people who have kids together, who are together for 10, 15 years. They've given each other their best years of their life, or best years, if you want to call it that. And they finally gotten to the point where they feel like their life is just heading in a different direction. And I mean, everyone changes, right? There must have been a point where you stopped showing up, or she stopped showing up. And you think about empty nesting syndrome, how when the kids finally leave the house, they're looking at each other, and they're saying, I don't think we have anything in common anymore. When we're not taking kids to soccer practice or gymnastics, what are we? Who are we together? Like, what makes us gel as a couple, and what makes this grow as far as a relationship, a romantic relationship? Happens all the time. That didn't mean at some point in their relationship that they didn't love you. They didn't feel like you were their future. I wrote down a couple notes here because there's a lot of things trending right now, um, in the news. And where I wanted to go with that was, this channel it talks a lot about the community here. We talk a lot about rebound relationships, and how when a person leaves you to go be with someone else, that's when you really feel like you were discarded, or you were someone that didn't mean anything to them. But I like to challenge those thoughts by asking you, um, was there something about that person's history that you didn't take seriously? Meaning, there's a lot of clients that I have that saw that the person that they were in a relationship with, or knew willingly got into relationships with them, that this person had a history of jumping from one relationship to another relationship. Or I've even had clients tell me verbatim, my ex so and so told me that they couldn't be alone. And from that moment, that's the covert contract that you sign by being in a relationship with them. That is the agreement that you're making with, on a soul level, of, I understand that you're not healed, I understand that you're used to going from one thing to another thing, but I must be different. I must be someone that you can see a real future with. And if you ask me, it's quite egotistical to think that a person won't do the same thing to you that they've historically done. right? Give me a thumbs up if you think what I'm talking about is spot on. Give me a thumbs up or comment. Disagree with it. It's okay. This is a democracy. This isn't a dictatorship. This is an open forum. Let me know if you feel like you disagree with what I just said. People's patterns are always going to show you what's if they're not doing anything to actively heal that part of themselves where they can be happy alone, they can be with themselves. I think it's a healthy thing to be with yourself for a year, 2 years. I think it's healthy for you to take a break from dating or take a break from a relationship to understand who you truly are and make you tick. Especially if you're someone that's been in relationships since you were, let's be honest, like people have little boyfriends and girlfriends at a very young age. If you've been in relationships since you were 15 years old, and now you're a 35-year-old woman or a 35-year-old man, and you have to be alone, that's a problem. I mean, who are you actually? I mean, deep down, what do you like? What are your hobbies? Who are you when you don't have that label of boyfriend or girlfriend? It's a real question. She wasn't happy. All right, Greg. All right, so we're gonna get into this real quick. She wasn't happy, crying at night every couple of weeks. I never understood it. So the reason that she was crying, and this is if I had to put myself in her shoes, was because she was grieving the relationship already. She wasn't happy. If I have to, I'm going to overshare here, right? I'm going to overshare about my past marriage. I knew that she was grieving that relationship after hindsight, right? Hindsight. I knew she was grieving the marriage because she started watching shows. She started really dissociating with me and with the environment. I knew, and now I know. I knew something was up. I knew something was weird. I'm like, okay, you're watching shows, you're doing things, and what was really happening was she was detaching. She was dissociating from me. She was trying not. She was. I mean, she was genuinely sad about what was about to happen because she had already had her mind made up, and I think it's negligent of people to not see that, to not really be present enough and mindful enough about where your partner's coming from. I went from being the guy that couldn't do anything wrong to okay, so all right, everyone has their own journey, right? Their own story. And I mean, you might have been, I have a client right now that says that she was completely blindsided. Her boyfriend left her out of nowhere. And she was confused because they were planning things. They were planning futures together. And she was completely blindsided. And I'll have to empathize with you there. Those are the ones that are really tough to get over. Those are the relationships that really make you ask, did they really love me? Did they ever love me throughout this whole time? Because when was their experience the same experience that I was having when I was planning the weddings, when I was talking about the kids that we were going to have? I'm not going to lie. Those are the really hard ones to get over. And it's going to take a long time to get over that because what usually happens is you have a hard time trusting people moving forward because the future or the reality that you were living in, it feels completely like a fantasy. It feels like a fantasy when they completely just get rid of you and say this isn't the relationship that I want. I mean, for lack of better words. I'm gonna read this one. I can't say your name. Tryse, what are you from? Tryse is from you from France, Italy. I went from being a guy that couldn't do anything wrong to it being where I saved a bunch of people in a burning building. She would complain that I lost my wallet. She has made the discard brutal. Whew. Yeah, I won't lie. That's brutal. That is brutal. But I was just talking to a client actually, and he was saying that how his ex girlfriend was coming up with a bunch of different reasons as to why she didn't want to be with him anymore. She was basically nitpicking. And whenever I see that from people, I say, if she's nitpicking, the nitpicking is, and if you're not familiar with nitpicking, it's just basically complaining about little things that you're doing in the relationship, little things that you're just doing around the house. If she's doing that, it basically is a symptom of something deeper. It's not about the bowl that's left out on the counter. It's not about you losing your wallet when you just became a hero to the whole entire town. It's something deeper. And this is where many people that are codependent, this is their experience. As me being an anxious attacher that's in recovery, right? For me, I would always have this empty feeling if I'm doing something simply for a person that I was in love with to see. If I was doing something with the wrong intentions, and I was just having a talk with my client about that. If I'm doing something with the intentions just to get the other person's approval and validation, um, it makes for a really empty experience. I can have people in this live session. I can have 200,000 people in this live session, but when I was in my insecure attachment state, I needed to have that one person pop in or that one person to make a comment, and if it didn't happen, I was feeling some type of way. So I would ask you if you were going through a burning building, what were your intentions when you were trying to show up in that relationship? When you were you doing things just because this is just who you were, or were you doing things because you wanted to make her happy? She had planned the whole thing out months after my dad died, about to be married, to being discarded and alienated from our kids. Wow. It's been a year and still been vicious as can be with any contact. Can't be with any contact. All right, so I'm going to dig a little deeper here for you. Where you from? Let me know where you from. You may not want to share that because you have your whole entire name on here. But let's dig a little deeper here. We need to learn. We need to figure out what we can take the positives. What are the positives that we can take away from this whole experience that you went through? And I know going through divorce, splitting custody, you really have a hard time at seeing positives. But we want people in our lives that want to be there, right? We don't want people to be into our lives simply because they have to, or simply because they feel guilty about splitting the family, about wanting to do what they truly want to do. So you can be 10 years out from here. Like, look at people like, all right, so I got here on the list. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about why I think the ideology or the mindset of they never loved you, I feel is a very immature mindset. I really do. I feel like it's overly emotional. It's it's not understanding what relationships are. And I may take a little bit of backlash on them, but the way that relationships are set up, or marriages are set up to this day, there's really um I'm gonna try to say this in the most respectful way as I can. People really don't owe you anything more than what they've already given you. You know, time is a commodity. Time is something that uh, a lot of people waste, but you really should be taken more seriously, because once it's gone, once it's done, it's done. So when a person, I wrote a quote on my Instagram saying, there's a lot of people in relationships for a lot of years for the sake of being in relationships for a lot of years. And I don't want to say that taking vows is not something that you should take seriously, or when you make a commitment, you should just renege on that. I really feel like if you focus on the present moment, if you focus on the here and now, and not what can happen in the future, and not get too overexcited and not have anxiety about it, then you're able to handle these breakups in a healthier manner. Because if you're saying that they never loved you, that means that you're living so far in the past about the experiences that you had in the past. And it's actually a character assault saying that a person never loved you. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that are users and people that are only with you for certain reasons. And if they are, then I would question you and wonder, what did you miss again? Like, why did you not see this ahead of time? And if you did see it ahead of time and you chose to still be with that person, then this is kind of what you've done to yourself. But for the most part, people don't get into relationships and get into marriages with the intention of getting divorced and breaking up. They usually are very much in the present moment. And that's actually a strength of the people who decide to break up, is they were able to be totally present because you were showing up a certain way and they were showing up a certain way, and you both love the energy. You both love the way that you were showing up. But then things change and relationships start getting rocky, and trials and tribulations started to happen. So I I would say that, for example, I have here on here the list Will and Jada. I don't know what's going on right now. I think they might be in the news or something might be going down with them right now. But um, I think they were split up for a while, and I was like, man, this would be kind of cool to use in a topic tonight, because you, if it was Jada that wanted to have the breakup or the split up, I mean, I don't think it would be fair for Will to say, I don't think she ever loved me. I mean, you guys had multiple kids together. You guys been through a lot. So for you to say, I don't think she ever loved me, that's heavy and it's actually insulting. But I don't know the dynamics of their relationship. So I just thought it was an interesting thing that it's trending right now. Australia, she was always on her phone, evidently, and had it planned out. How old are you? So they said from no, that's not you from Australia. Oh, DT from Australia. She did a relocate and has treated 13 and a half years like it didn't exist. That's a long time. And best only if ever amicable to try and get custody of our kids. But whenever asks questions, she loses it and rages out. So if she loses and 39, if she's losing it and raging out, at the age of 39, I don't know how old she is. This didn't just start. So, and I'm trying to be as nice as I can about it. You had kids with her, right? I'm assuming that this was her personality all along. And I don't know if she's like really attractive or she's a lot of fun. But when you pick the person that's going to be the bearer of your kids and have this happily ever after till death do us part with, we as men, because I'm guilty of it myself, we have to be more conscious and more aware about the decision that we make. I was talking to someone about student loans, and about when I first took out my student loans, I'm like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to sign off. I get to go to school, cool. But I didn't realize just the repercussions of not paying those student loans back, like what that was going to do to my credit, what that was going to do to my financial well-being in the future. Because I was just like, whatever, as long as I get to get what I'm getting. And was that too many gets? That's hilarious. I didn't realize what was going to happen in the future. And we need to do that. It's funny that we take more time looking into apartments, places we're going to live, looking into cars we're going to drive. We take more time looking into that and signing on that dotted line than we do when we get into relationships with people, when we expose people to our kids, when we have people in our lives that are going to make a lot of impact about our day-to-day moods. They're going to have a lot of impact on uh, what we're going to do for the next years, like our holidays. Like, they have a lot of impact on that. But we take that very lightly. And sometimes when I hear stories of guys saying, hey, Court, I got a Whopper for you. And I was like, I think, right, what did you miss? What red flags did you ignore? Because I'm pretty sure there were a lot of. And if you've been watching me for a while, like I try to help people vet partners and vet spouses the best that I can by, for first off, what was their relationship with their parents like? What were their parents' relationships like? Because those relationships really model how they're going to show up in your relationship. You can disagree with it all you like, but the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And I know that thing's old, but I like to put a little bit of spin on it. I say sometimes it doesn't come back as an apple. Sometimes it comes back as the apple juice that the baby and the strollers drinking next to that tree. Or it comes back as the guy eating the applesauce at the bus stop next to the tree. But it always come back. It comes back in some way, shape, or form. And you can't deny it. That subconscious conditioning is a very powerful thing. And what you feel is normal, um, it's hard to unwire if you're not really conscious about it. If you're not doing the work. Yeah, I ignored a lot of red flags, thinking it was just depression, and she has a history of it, and that is what postnatal depression. But it was definitely her red flags getting worse. All right, so if you guys have any more questions, I'm gonna probably call it one tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for liking the feed. I have a lot of thumbs up in here. We got 25 people watching. You can really get these likes up. Hey Kayla, you got a question for me? I'll answer a question. I've been answering enough of them. All right, so Gregory says, in a way, Tyrese is right. To him, it felt that way. Right. Everyone's experience is different values, different kind of person. We just didn't understand her view on love. You helped me understand that, Coach. Appreciate that, Greg. Yeah, her family dynamics are not healthy, to say the least, and her family hated people calling out the insanity they were involved in. If you walk into a Thanksgiving celebration and no, and I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm just trying to give you guys insight. I'm gonna put this disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to shame anyone because there's a lot of people who have issues with LDA issues, and I worked in that environment. But like I said, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So if you walk into a Thanksgiving celebration and the dad's already drunk, the sisters are arguing with each other, and your girl or your guy who was already reluctant about bringing you to the celebration to begin with because they knew that you would be uncomfortable, and you come from an upbringing where everyone is, they can handle their alcohol, they can handle the things that's going on, stress wise at work and in their relationships, and then you go into this and it's kind of chaotic. You have to ask yourself, is this something that I want to bring my future kids up in? Is this some type of family that I really want to marry into? And I'm not trying to shame people. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. I'm just trying to help people not make mistakes that can cost them a lot of heartache, a lot of money, a lot of time, and shoot, for some people, cost them their lives. So, Ricardo, what's up, man? It's been so long since I spoke to you. Ricardo is a man, just so you guys know. He's a phenomenal artist, musician. My ex's new boyfriend called me to say stop talking to her friends, which are mine now also. What would you do, Coach? Well, first off, I would just kind of chuckle and laugh that your ex can't prevent her boyfriend from reaching out and doing impulsive things which sounds to me like they may have an unhealthy dynamic already. Sounds like this guy has impulse control issues and he likes drama, or he might be insecure. So be it. I would say, hey man, hey, that's your girl. All right. I wish you guys the best. Best of luck. Oh, by the way, there might be some. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, so hope my DA is coming around again after 8 months. I showed them after 8 months, and I'm so glad to report that I've been seeing someone that actually knows how to give and receive love, and I'm so happy not to deal with a DA. Cannot deal with the DA having something really good going in my life. I'm so happy to hear that, man. This is a success story right here. We worked together for a little while, and when things are really fun and exciting and I don't know, you really have to rewire what you consider healthy. Because if you came from a situation where, or a household, or even a relationship, if you came from a relationship where it was really unhealthy, it was what some people would call toxic, you get desensitized to what healthy actually could be. You actually feel more alive and more excited about the blow ups and the fireworks that happen in a relationship than you would with someone that doesn't have that same type of unhealthiness as far as their personality. Coach, you helped me so much. I really, really appreciate you, man. Ricardo, love you, brother. Thank you for being here. All you guys that are being here today, I know you can be anywhere on your Wednesday night, but you chose to be with me, or your Thursday morning over at Cross Seas. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. And once again, I want you guys to remember, when you go be loved, you'll never have to find it. Namaste. God bless you guys. Peace.